everyone to After Dark. Ted, I missed you last week.
Kara, I missed you so much. You have no idea. But somehow we pulled it off without you. So I'm so glad you're back, though. Good to see you.
I know. I'm happy to be back. Happy to interact with all of our viewers today because we are live once again this Monday evening. And I want to take a second to thank BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. Thank you so much, BG, for sponsoring so many things that I have the pleasure of doing with Ted Eames all the time with the Fixed Ops Roundtable and our show After Dark.
Yep. And BG is such a great part of our industry. And Kara, you really lit it up at the last event when Princess Leia went out there and made sure that BG D2 got his spa treatment with the latest BG pre-owned vehicle kit. So I really appreciate you doing that as well.
Oh, Princess Leia. I'm never going to live that one down.
No, I don't think you will, but it's one for the ages. So great stuff, Kara.
I'm excited for tonight's show, though. I'm excited for our next Fixed Ops Roundtable, too. There's so much happening in the next couple months.
And Tully Williams is with us. Tully, I want to give you, of course, a great shout out to our friend over in Sacramento. And Tully is going to be traveling this week, Kara. He's going down to Marina del Rey in Los Angeles, and he is speaking. He is one of the speakers at the CX conference, along with Sarah Van Tyne. Our good friend Ed Roberts is going to be there as well. Elizabeth Martin from the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Tully, I think they pluck all the people out of the Fixed Ops Roundtable to speak. Yeah. So I think that's what's going on there. So
we're feeling left out, aren't we, Ted?
Yeah, we are. But last week on the show I had Steve Apicella here, and who did a great job, by the way. And I told the audience that you were out with some family business. So I got to ask you, are you ready to share some of that with us, or
I am.
Tell us a little about that?
Excited. Yes. So I actually went home sooner than later. I was going to wait a little bit, but I actually drove all the way back home to Lubbock, Texas, which is about 8 hours for me, all because my brother and his wife had their very first child, and I have a new baby niece, and I just couldn't wait to see her. So that's my brother and his wife, Hayden and Jenny, and my newest little favorite human being ever, Miss Connolly June. Yeah, wow. When I was holding her in this photo, I told my brother that she was mine and I was never giving her back. She's so cute. It's so sweet. And now I'm going to want to go home like every weekend.
Well, congratulations, Kara, to you and your brother and your family. And so this is the first grandchild. Is that right for your parents?
Yes. My mom is ecstatic. I'm like, thank you, Hayden, for giving this to my parents. So they'll stay off my back for another 10 years, hopefully.
And when you went home, it's not like you went around the corner, right? You had quite a distance to go to do that.
Yes. And I drove this time, and I normally fly, but I drove this time and it's 8 hours. And my parents live in Texas, which is so weird. Our state is so massive. So yeah, I drove from the Woodlands, Houston area, all the way to Lubbock, Texas. And I arrived at about 2:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Yeah, so I drove all night to get there, but I was so excited that I powered through it.
Wow. Well, you had a great reason not to be here. And like I said, we held down the fort, and congratulations to you again and your brother and your family, and appreciate all that you do. So now we've got an event coming up. We got a little bit of a break here, but we just finished up the May the Fort Be With You event, and we have one coming up in September. Is that right?
We sure do. And this one is going to be one for the ages. I'll put it that way.
Oh, hold on. I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Okay. It's this one here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so this is our next event, and I am so excited. It's called the Roaring 20s. It's going to be September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. All virtual once again. So you can go ahead and get your complimentary tickets now at fixedopsroundtable.com. And guys, we encourage you to dress up for these. So I don't want to be the only one dressed up like I'm from the 20s with like Great Gatsby theme or whatever. So I'm waiting to see what you're going to wear, Ted.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see too. So I'm sure it's going to be exciting because we've already been sharing some ideas on that. And we are going to continue our association, everybody, with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we will be raising some funds with them. Announcement forthcoming shortly. So appreciate the generosity of this group and, so much that they do for fixed operations as well. So, and also a comment on here from Steve Apicella. He said, congratulations, Auntie Kara. So
I'm sorry I missed you
fantastic.
guys.
So now one other thing that I did see on LinkedIn, no, what was on Facebook, is that you had a Jeep challenge that you did recently over there at Henson. Is that right?
I did. Yeah. So what's weird about this video, Ted, actually, I filmed that video a year ago in June. And I don't know if anybody watching knows what the Jeep challenge is, but I'm sure Ted has a video up his sleeve right now. But it kind of resurfaced this summer also. And I had so many of our followers from our stores like tagging me in all these Jeep challenges, telling me that I needed to try it. And I'm like, I did try it. Y'all just missed it last year, I guess. So I had to post the video of me doing the Jeep challenge because it was funny.
Well, if I can, let me show it. And I think our featured guest has not seen it, so she'll be taken a little bit by surprise. And then we're going to bring her on. So let me go ahead and share that Jeep challenge with her.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit.
Now you look like you've done that before.
I was like, good thing I've been working on my ab muscles because that could have ended badly. Yeah, that was the second time I tried it. The first time I didn't kick over far enough, so I didn't get my feet through the window. But second time I nailed it and they got it on video, luckily. So I might do it again in a different way. I've been thinking about some other ways to step up my Jeep challenge game.
We got to incorporate that with the Roaring 20s theme, I'm thinking, somehow.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Got my wheels spinning now.
Anyway, I don't want to keep our featured guest waiting any longer. Everybody, we're very excited to introduce somebody brand new, Kara, to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And she's an automotive retail person, such as yourself, who now has her own business. And she's out of Chicago. And without further ado, Brooke Furniss, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark.
Well, hello. I am so incredibly excited to be here. Thank you. And that was incredible. Abs is still, as I'm going to say to that, abs is still.
Well, Brooke, you're going to have to give it a shot.
I'm all game. Bring it. Let's go. I'm all for it. Let's go. I
And
got to
Brooke,
get a Jeep first.
You've been a fitness trainer, right, in another life?
Yeah, I was an athletic trainer, and before that, everyone has I don't think not a lot of us are born into the auto industry, and so I was definitely not, and so there was that moment of, oh no, what am I going to do with my life? And so before that, I was an athletic trainer with Broadway shows that toured around the world, and then after that, the world kind of fell apart in 2008, and I go, I got to do something, and then I eventually got into the auto industry. So yeah, there we go, very Reader's Digest version, yes.
And congratulations to you, because it seems, Brooke, like you've burst onto the scene here recently. I didn't know of you or about you, but I'm starting to see you everywhere now at conferences and on your lives on social media. So tell us, tell the Fixed Ops community a little bit about who you are, maybe a little bit of background.
Yeah. So going back to, before I got into the auto industry, I definitely, like most, probably didn't come into the industry. There was the moment of, like I said, going back to, what am I going to do? And I had a good friend that he goes, hey, you know more about cars and you love traveling more than anybody I know. And he goes, I have a friend that has a company that I think you would do well with that company. I go, oh, okay, sure. Well, his friend happens to be Jonathan Ord, who started Dealer Socket, which was a CRM company, which in 2008 that was really, really needed. It was 2009, excuse me, 2009. And the world had just kind of collapsed and CRM companies were kind of needed at that time. So I go, sure, okay, why not? I really don't know a lot about that, but hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll figure it out. So from there, I just fell in love with it because I love cars. And then from there, that just kind of catapulted me into a bunch of other positions. At this point, I've sat in almost every seat there is to sit at this point. I've done the fixed op. My younger brother and I, from there, started a company, a software company in the collision industry. And then I own my own company. And then I've done consulting. So I've sat in about every seat there is to sit. And then I've worked in retail as well in the actual dealership. So I had a friend at one point said, hey, we're not someone that actually, we can actually say we've been in retail. So we know what it's like to get 500 emails a day, to have those 700 phone calls coming at you a day. And then from there, I just said, what I do now is being on that retail side and having those emails come in. And as a manager, whether you're on the sales side or the fixed ops side, being able to hold people accountable, being able to inspect what you expect, it sometimes becomes really daunting. And having that person in the background to say, hey, let me help you out there. That's what we do. As consultants is just to say, let us take that off your plate. There's a big difference between vendors and business partners. So we hold both of them accountable, let everyone get back to what they want to be doing, whether that's selling, whether that's, hey, let us go deal and work with our service clients. Let us deal with that. And we just take all that. We'll deal with all the reporting and the geeky ones and zeros. We deal with that and let them deal with all the other that they really want to get to on a daily basis. And then obviously I've got my podcast that everyone, at this point, like you said, people, before this, I was never really on social media. Now I was like, we see you all the time now. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
I was wondering about the setup that you have going on right now. I was like, this lady is like, I don't know what we're getting ourselves into, Ted, but she has a better setup than us. And now I'm concerned.
I know.
I don't know about that, but there's a big, like you said, it's like, I used to hear myself on, whether it's the Zooms or Microsoft Teams, and then all of a sudden you start researching, you're like, wow, microphones make a big difference. So
They do. And you know what's unique about the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Brooke, is that we have now in the last couple of years brought a lot of people on who were not always just in fixed operations, but people from all parts of the business in sales, in finance, in BDC. Kara is an exception because we did an exhaustive search 2 years ago for somebody, for a woman, if I could say it, we wanted somebody with very deep fixed ops experience. And we were very lucky that we were able to find, Kara with that. But
yeah, a lot of fixed ops experience over here, Ted.
But so good stuff. And you've given us a little bit of information here on your background. So if I can, I'm gonna show some pictures. I was showing this one to Kara just before the show started. And tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
So I have a bit of a shoe addiction. I can admit I have a problem. That's the first part of admitting any problem. I'm not going to do anything other than that. I've been collecting Jordans for about 26 years. And yeah, they've always been in their boxes. And my husband's finally said, hey, you know what? We probably should display those. And I said, no. And he finally got me to do it. So we created, well, this is not all of them. I used to have like 300 pairs, and then I broken and torn about everything in my body. So I shattered my foot and started selling off my collection. So I have about 150 pairs now. I always get asked if I have heels. Yes, I still have about another 60 pairs of high heels as well. So yeah, I have a bit of an Air Jordan collection.
I knew we would be best friends, Brooke.
Yes.
I think she has me beat there though, Ted. She's got a lot of shoes and I am jealous.
Well, we're already good friends, so we can go back and forth here. I like it already.
Yep. And I think you struck a nerve with Jeff Daniel up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And Jeff, thank you so much for being on tonight. And Jeff, congratulations on your Best Practice Award as well. He talks about accountability for all parties. Do not promise and not deliver. As a leader, that doesn't work in retail and will burn a bridge quickly with potential clients. Yeah. So
frustrating.
Yeah.
I've been down there many of times where it's over promise and under deliver. Very, very frustrating.
Yeah, and a couple more photos that you've also provided us, and I guess this is your better half. Is that right?
That is my definitely my better half. This is Chris. We are sports junkies. So in our free time, you will definitely find us at some type of basketball or any type of sports, whatever. Obviously, being in Chicago, the Bulls are not that great right now, but you'll see us a Bull game. This is actually at where are we? This is in Utah. So we're at the Jazz game. I can't remember who they're playing at this point, but that's where we were at this point.
Oh wow! And you got another one here, and I see you're also a Cubs fan. So.
Yeah, well, I was born because I've lived in about every single state. I lived in Japan for a while. I've adopted the Cubs. I'm a diehard New York Yankees fan, but I've adopted the Cubs. One, I can't cheer for another AL team, and two, I will never ever cheer for another team that has the word "sock" in it because I'm a Yankees fan. But so I've adopted the Cubs.
I'm sorry, you said you. I'm sorry for Kara's benefit. What fan are you again? It's.
New York Yankees, baby. Sorry, Kara. We can still be friends. I promise. So my family comes to town. That's my late mother on my right, and then my aunt and her daughter on the left. So anytime my family comes to town, I become tour guide Barbie. Anytime they come, and it's like, all right, you want to go any game they want to go to. We make sure they show you anyone a good time. So yes, always have to become, like I said, tour guide Barbie when my family comes to town.
Wow. And what's this?
So prior life, this was I worked with Broadway shows that toured around the world before I became into the automotive world. So I worked with a show called Blast. And if anyone is not familiar with Blast, it's the best way to describe it. It is a mixture of Stomp and like Cirque du Soleil and then mix it on steroids. And that's what Blast is. And we had this was like, I want to say it was a 20 year reunion, something like that. We had this past,
wow.
In December. So we all got together and had a reunion out in Vegas this past December. So it was pretty incredible. Good, some amazing musicians and incredible people. So yeah, prior life.
Looks like a lot of fun. And this looks like some automotive folks perhaps here.
Yeah. So we've got some, just once again, they're just some brilliant minds, and it takes all of us to move this industry forward. And just, whether it's the passions of the world or, we got Tim Cox, we did some awesome people. And then from a retail side, we have Patrick over here with Beaver Toyota. And if anyone doesn't know Beaver Toyota, there's a really cool story that I always love. When I met him, he had, I believe the number is 50 employees that uprooted by choice, mind you, uprooted their lives to go work for him. And that when we talk about culture, we talk about, hey, what do we want in whether it's in our industry or a different industry, someone that says, hey, I want to uproot my family and move across state lines to go work for a company. That's Patrick, and that's Beaver Toyota. So I chose this photo, Jamie, because it's just one of the funniest dinners I've ever experienced in my life, but also just incredible people. And my podcast was actually named, once I heard Tim Cox speak for the first time, he had a whole saying about, facts versus feelings. And that's like, oh my gosh, that just resonated with me. And that's the name of my podcast, is Fact Not Feelings. So there's a whole lot going on in this photo. And that's, yeah.
And a couple more shots here. Looks like you got a pretty big family.
Yeah, so we don't have small families here. So there are a total of 6 kids in my family. 5 siblings, 3 boys, 3 girls. So just and then there was 13 nieces and nephews, and there are now 14 nieces and nephews in my family. So I have to have the favorite aunt title. I live in Chicago. All my family's on the West Coast, so definitely have to spoil them rotten. So, Kara, when I heard about your first niece with Miss Connolly June, I believe was the name, correct?
Yes.
I think you said. So the first grandchild on either side of my family, she just graduated this past this year. So she's 18, and so it was just like, I totally know that. Remember that very first one? You're just like, okay, what can I do? How can I get there? So yes, you're in the world. You're in for so much fun, and just I'm so excited for you. Yeah,
I love it.
Wow.
And same thing here. These are all my siblings. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
A lot of kids. A lot of kids.
I see that. Yeah. So cool. And I think that's a great opportunity that we have, to be able to show the personal side, on events and on shows like this, so people can find out, who you are and, more about you. So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I have to ask about your podcast though, because that's what I want to hear about.
Okay. Talk to me.
Like, what inspired you to do this podcast? What is your aspirations with it?
Yeah, honestly, when I first heard Tim talk, it never was, hey, I'm going to start a podcast. When I decided to start the company, when I decided to resurrect the company, it was, I just wanted to help other people. I figured, hey, this is a way, if I can help one person and I can help the industry in some way, if this can help just one person, that's the reason why I did it. And originally it was just a YouTube thing. And I had a guest come on and go, she goes, so is this audio or visual or going to be on YouTube? And I go, I have no idea how to do a podcast. So I figured out how to do a podcast. So the whole thing behind it is nothing more than if I can just help one person out there, if I can get the, words out there, to get the message out there, to help one person, educate one person, to move the industry forward and to really just better this world at the end of the day. That's really, I don't want that to come across a cliche at all. That's really what it's about. It's not about me. It's bringing guests on to educate other people. That's really what it's about.
And I saw that you had Lori Holter on there just recently as well.
Oh, love that human being so much. Yes, I did. She was on, I think 2 weeks ago, I want to say last week, something like that. And she's been on here before too. And she talk about a person that's everywhere. That she's everywhere.
Well, she has not been on the After Dark show.
Oh, she hasn't.
No, but she has been on the Roundtable events, and she's actually moderated a lot of panels for us. The gentleman who was just on, Jeff Daniel, I mentioned in Kalamazoo, she moderated a panel of technicians at the last event for his group, and she's been involved with Kara Roger Conant with the women in the service lane and moderating those panels as well on women in retail automotive. And she does a great job, by the way, as a moderator, and she's very fair, and I think she's won a Best Practice Award too, Kara. So
I think you're right.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me with her. I mean, she is, anyone that's been in the room with her for 2 seconds, anyone that's had a conversation with her, you immediately know, I feel better about myself. I feel better as a human being, and I'm a better human being from being around her. I mean, and she just, I know it's, she's got, find the spark in someone else, and that's kind of her, she'll say that, but it is so true, because she finds just that nugget of someone, that little spark in someone that says, that's your potential, and I'm going to help that make it grow. I mean, it'll make you better because of it. It's just, she's got this special quality about her, and many qualities about her, but that one in particular, just to find that special something about someone and just saying, hey, I'm going to make you better because of it. And hey, let me introduce you to this person. And then there's never I want something in return. Never, ever once will she ever want that about. Never, ever, ever.
True. That's true. In fact, she's introduced me to a lot of folks who are now on the Roundtable. And so, we think extremely highly of her, and, she's wonderful. And Steve Apicella has another comment on here as well, Brooke. To move our great industry forward, we need diverse contributors that are not always like-minded, agree or disagree with each other. So, yeah, I agree with that very much. And Jeff Daniel, Lori's a rock star. And Roger, yes, he is a pit bull,
very much so.
Fighting for change. And I got a little nervous yesterday, Kara, because I saw some Sunday emails going back and forth between Roger and Eric Barbosa as Eric was traveling back from, I guess, Miami. So I think they're working on something. So I don't know what.
Yeah, Roger's coming to see us here soon.
Yeah, right. Because you got that boot camp going on, right?
Yep, we have a social media boot camp here at our dealerships mid-July, and we've opened it up to other dealerships outside of our foundation group. And Roger jumped all over it, and Eric's like, didn't we meet this guy before? And I was like, please, Roger, come.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think he's going to be excited too. So, and by the way, I mean, Brooke, look at all that, social media has done, right? To bring all these parties, all these ideas, together to collaborate and talk and, be able to do podcasts and stuff like this. So
it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's when done correctly, and I think also when you're done. I mean, Laura and I, we were talking about this. I always have a couple questions at the very end of my show and ask, time permitting, different questions. And especially as a female, I like to have specific questions for females versus, males. There's a little bit different take. And she's the first female to say a certain phrase. And she just said, it's always very key to say, what can I give first? And I go, that's so true. And of course it would be her that would say that. And I just go, but it's always about what can I give before what can I take from you? Because if that's your mindset, man, you're going about it the wrong way. And no matter how great social media is or how great your content is, if your first thought is what can I take from someone else, it's going to blow up in your face. So it's just be careful what you're putting out there.
So, Kara, I'm thinking ahead to the September. We have a couple events coming up September. We have like 3 back-to-back in November, and then we have one again at the end of January. I'm thinking, Brooke would probably be a great addition to the roundtable, to some of the panels, and maybe in that same role as a Lori Halter. What do you think?
Yes. And how do you feel about, 1920s attire?
Oh, I'll find something. I don't know if I've got Jordans to fit it, but I will try.
Yes, you have to be on there.
Bring it. I'd love it.
All right. Tony Owens is in, so out in Ohio. So, all right.
All for it.
Great stuff. So, and Brooke, what's next for you? What's on the horizon? What are you working on?
Once again, I think at the end of the day is that I was talking to a colleague, and we were just saying, okay, what right now is, kind of the exact same question. I go, honestly, it is really how can we join hands and move forward? Brian Pash right now, he's got the GA4 summit or GA4 council right now. And this is something that is so unprecedented. And it is just amazing to see all of these different, you've got website providers, you've got dealerships, you've got agencies, you've got all these different companies that are coming across the aisle and reaching across the aisle. And it's just, we can all have different viewpoints. We can have all different everything. And we can come together and join hands and join forces and have different ideals and yet come to a common goal. So whether it's on the sell side, whether it's on the service side, it doesn't matter. We can all come together and come towards a common goal. So whether it's that, it doesn't matter. It's just, I'm really big on this. There's enough room in the sandbox for all of us. And so that's kind of, I've been really big on this thing lately of just, we really can do this, with great power comes great responsibility, to quote, I think it was Spider-Man, I want to say, but there really is. And so that's kind of been my big kick lately, is just that we have such incredible minds in this industry, and we can do such incredible things if we'd all just kind of focus it a little bit.
Yeah.
Great. We're looking forward to having you join us and
thank you
on the roundtable. And one of the things that we do with the Fixed Ops community is that we let the Fixed Ops community vote, who did the best job with the best presentations and the most, compelling ideas. And we have an award at each event. It's called the Best Practice Award. And typically we have 5 winners at our events. And at this last event, we had 9 winners. And I didn't call it out a little bit earlier today, but today, Kara, the awards went out. And I'll show Brooke a sample of what they look like. This one went out to Marco Zwanenberg, who is a technician and has had some amazing contributions to the Fixed Ops Roundtable since the very first one that we did back in it'll be 3. It's over 3 years ago now. Wow. So
that's incredible.
We make sure that we talk about those things as well. So, all right, great stuff. Like it. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to everything. Super. Any last words?
No, just thank you so much on it. Like, it is such an honor to be on this and to be a part of this and to, like I said, meet you all virtually, officially. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
We have loved having you on here for sure. And I can't wait to see you on one of our Fixed Ops roundtables here soon. Yes. I can see your eyes light up at that best practice. She's going for it, Ted.
Yes.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we got a lot of preparation to do, though, right? You know,
Yes.
to get ready for that. And that's one of the things I think people don't realize, Brooke, is that when they see this, they're all 3-day events now, right? They don't realize how much goes into them. Kara, I just got my voice back, right?
I know.
Oh man.
You know, Brooke, I had no voice for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And then when I finally recovered it, it was time for the next event, and I lost my voice all over
Yep.
again. So,
Well, the thing, like, you go to a conference and just the amount of talk they're doing at a conference, let alone hosting the entire thing. Yeah, the amount of tea and honey you guys are going to be having and lozenges is all I'm going to say. Wow.
We're also equally excited that next week, next Monday night at 8 p.m., we have another amazing guest coming on, and it is going to be Len Belavia, the senior partner of Belavia Blatt. And Len is also a big part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, going back to when we had Jay Leno on the show, because Len was behind that charity that we got Jay to come on and help us with. But Len has been on the cover of Automotive News this past week, talking about, because he's a dealer attorney representing the dealers in some of the things that the OEMs are talking about now with the EVs, and perhaps taking some of that. There's been talk about taking some of the sales side away and doing that without the dealers. So Len is going to be telling us the latest news on Monday. You don't want to miss that. There's going to be a lot of very interesting things coming out of that. He'll also be leading a panel, 2 panels, one on that topic in September and one on warranty reimbursement, which his firm does as well. So looking forward to that. So
All exciting
thank you
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we appreciate you being on here, Brooke. It was so nice to
Thank
get
you.
to meet you and learn all about you. And thanks for having me again, Ted, even though I missed last week. But I will see everybody next week for sure. So on behalf of Ted Ings and the shoe connoisseur herself, Brooke, I'm Kara Delane. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Monday at 8 p.m.